Okay, we'll try this. I'm not sure if it's even my face you're seeing right now. Mike McKinnon, 3 Oaks Senior High. I'm doing a video here on a Healy coil. So a Healy coil is something that we use quite often in the automotive. I shouldn't say quite often, but when we need to use one, it's usually to save a expensive part or a special bolt that you can only replace with the exact original equipment thread. So an example of that, the biggest example of that is right here. So spark plug. They only come in 2 different sizes, and you're not changing the cylinder head to be the other size. So we need to, if the threads come out of that cylinder head as we're pulling out a plug, that's an example where we got to install a certain type of Healy coil. I'm using the trademark name, but a threaded insert of some sort. Threaded insert we're using today here is one that has a tang that needs to be broke off. Not very commonly used, probably in a spark plug replacement scenario. I'm not going to get into the spark plug one. You'll see lots of those on YouTube as well. But definitely want my students to know that this is the main purpose you'll use them. The other one is anything like a cylinder head, maybe with a specific bolt, a torque to yield bolt or something that you need to use. So it's a special thread that needs to maintain, so you're using the same head bolt or possibly even a brake caliper threads that comes with special slider bolts that need to be the same. So there's definitely some instances you need to use them. So what we have here laid out on the bench here is we have the different tools or the different things we need to be able to do this. So I'm going to try and cut the video a little short. So we've got a homemade center punch here that I made out of an old flaring tool thing, and it's been fabulous. I tease the kids all the time. I don't tease the kids, I tell the kids this is gold here, we don't want to lose that one. So there's our Healy coil or perma coil they all have. So that's the one with the tang that needs to be broke off after. You still can get a spark plug insert that is that style. So that's what we're going to be installing. The other thing I want to talk about, that we're drilling aluminum here today. So plywood holes not necessarily as important, but we're going to use a 1/8 drill bit, and this is a nice quality double-ended drill bit, the black style double-ended. And then this particular Healy coil, you buy it as a kit, and you possibly get the drill size with it, and you'll get the special tap you need for that Healy coil size, and then you get an installer when you buy a kit. So this particular thread we're repairing is a 3/8 by 16, so the major diameter is 3/8, and the thread pitch is 16 threads per inch. And on the tap will tell you the drill bit that you need to use. So in this case, it's a 25/64, a little bigger than 3/8, but you're making threads in the aluminum that are bigger than 3/8, so you can bring it back to that original size of 3/8. Okay, and then we have the tap. It's a tapered tap to go in for that special Healy coil. So on it, you'll see there will be writing on this about what size drill bit and that it is for a threaded insert. So it's not a tap for a regular bolt. And then this is our installer here. So I've seen a neat installer that works a little different than this one. It's got a cutout in the middle of it to grab that tang, and you can use that same tool to bang it out. So anyway, I'll show you how we do it here. But that's the little tang that grabs that, or the little lift that grabs the tang so you can thread the Healy coil in. Okay, so I'm going to pre-drill it, and I'm going to pre-tap it, and then I'll take it to show you sections of it as we edit. So there's our piece of aluminum that we'll be using. There's already there is a Healy coil in it already, and then they do a threaded and tapped hole. So there's a Healy coil in this one already, and it's not installed properly here. This particular Healy coil is too long for the thickness of this, so we do got to cut one full thread off the Healy coil so that it bites on both sides of the Healy coil. That's an important part of installing. This is just a regular 3/8. They do a tap and a die with the aluminum, and that's sharpening a drill bit and drill a hole. So I'm just going to add a new hole to this and then install the Healy coil. So. Lots of pressure, slow speed, I always tell students, so it'll go quicker. Okay, and we've got a fairly new bit here, so try and keep. Now if we're doing a factory one or whatever, the drill This is a really good quality bit. I like the ones that have the flat triangle part. It'll help your chuck a lot because the drill bit won't slip. So that's kind of a neat feature on this particular drill bit. Okay, so again, now we're drilling to 25/64 for that Healy coil. Oh, let me change the torque here, hopefully, on this. This is good. Okay, all the way through. One needs to be careful, I should just mention that, of using a cordless drill or electric drill. When you get near the end of drilling an aluminum or steel, especially steel will grab a lot tighter. It will want to turn on you, and you can really hurt your wrist doing that. So now we got the tap. So I don't have any lubricant here, but for aluminum, it's usually kerosene that you'll use as a lubricant for drilling and tapping. But and that's the idea, is the kerosene is to wash away. You don't want the little filings there, so the kerosene kind of washes away, keep it clean, and get a little better cut. So yeah, I might get some comments where, oh, you should be using this, should be using that. I do know that. So this part too, okay, so I'm kind of covering this video because this will cover the drill and tap too, and we're doing a Healy coil as well. And very important that you work slowly, and you don't want to cut any more with the tap than a 90-degree cut. And it says to go back a half turn, but sometimes I'll tell students, you want to make sure you're going back lots. And sometimes I'll go back 2 or 3 turns, and sometimes it'll be harder going backwards than it is going forward when you're cutting. So you'll feel it kind of cutting again on the backstroke and then cleaning out the debris or the filings that come with that. So it's going to take a little bit of turning here. I'll probably speed this up in the actual video. But you want to make sure you're taking your time. So, and the better time you take in cleaning out the debris, a blowgun here, a little bit of kerosene, definitely would make for a high quality repair here. And probably should have had that here as well. So anyway, apologies for that. Okay, so now we're all the way tapped through. Now we're going to install the Healy coil. So I told you this one was, this Healy coil is too long. So we have to cut one full thread will give us enough bite on either side of the Healy coil that it should snug in. So I usually will start, so the Healy coil's just got threaded on there. So now you just want to be careful, tang side down, and you want to start threading that Healy coil in. And it'll pretty much follow its threads. What I do is I get it in a couple of turns, okay, and I don't want to put it all the way in yet, and I didn't break off the tang. Once you do that, you're done, you can install it. So it's not fully installed here. This is a good stable way that I can cut that full thread off and not have it flying all over or trying to vise the Healy coil. So it's stable in that aluminum. I'm going to take like a 360-degree turn off of it. I'm just going to look there. I just nicked that thread at the top. Didn't hurt, but it's still going to be effective. Okay, you got to be really careful with the die grinder. You can almost not cut the whole way and then bend it off too. So you just want to be careful it doesn't become a slinky. Now, the important part here is, and it's hard to see, I guess I'll take it out and see if we can see it a little better here. And I'll try and get on the other side so I know what I'm showing here. So no, it's not. We're not going to see it very well, but I always talk about the Healy coil being like a baseball diamond, and that second half of the diamond needs to be hidden in the aluminum so that the threads are in on this side and on this side after where we would break the tang off. Okay, and then that way your Healy coil will be biting on each side of the aluminum. We're back here. So I'm going to watch that, and I'll mark it with a pen with students as to where it needs to be, okay, just to demonstrate that. And it's right about there. So I'm going to turn it to there. There, it's gone. Now I'm just going to back it off on this side. Before I break the tang off, I want to inspect the other side, that I can look and say, yep, it's all the way in there too. And it is. If I had to turn that a whole lot more, it's still even in to the very end. So that 360-degree cutoff definitely helps get it installed properly. So, like I said, the other tool doesn't have any threads. It's just got the middle cutout, and you can bang it to the center. For our 3/8, it works out quite well that our handle of this goes in, and you want to be quick to break. Oh, okay, break that off. And now we have a 3/8 Healy coil threaded insert installed. Okay, and the students get to see the difference between an aluminum thread and then replacing it with a steel one. So that's a Healy coil install. So not a whole lot different for a spark plug and a cylinder head. Maybe a different product you're using, but it's pretty much the same.